What's going on? It's Sunday live haul. Scooby Doo bop bop. Ribbity beep 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 bow. Scooby beep 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 bow bow. You like that?
Is that the new thing with the glasses? By the way, your glasses are super glary.
I know. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna have to do the whole show either like this or like this. So like this or like this. So what happened is I changed my contacts like a few days ago. It's like I wear disposable contacts, but I usually make them last for like a couple of months. And so I changed them like maybe a week ago. And my right eye has been kind of bugging me. Like it almost felt like I had like a bad contact or something. And I finally took it out this morning. And I think there must have been something in my eye or something. But basically I scratched my eyeball. It was really bugging me yesterday. And I finally pulled it out.
It just happened to me like two months ago.
Yeah. So now it's like I've got like my right eye is like, so it feels like I have sand in my eye. So I think I just scratched it a little bit.
It's red and watery.
Oh, it's rough, guys. It's rough.
It hurts.
It hurts. So I have to like let it, I'm just trying to like as hard as I can to not let it be all weepy because then it just looks bad. It looks like I'm crying all the time.
Well, welcome to my world.
Clearly you've been beating me. That's probably what it is. But anyway, so I have to wear my glasses.
Stop being so mouthy.
I know. So I have to wear my glasses and, I would just not wear them for the show, except for the fact that I'm not just a little bit blind. I'm really blind. So I cannot see anything. I can't see any words on the screen. I can't see anything to be able to control the
you're
software.
Really bad. Yeah. See, I'm not as bad as
it's all blurred. So I'm going to have to wear the glasses because I need to be able to see what you guys are commenting. And so
apologies for the glary eyeballs.
Yeah, so it's going to be like this a little weird where I'm either talking to everybody like this. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Or it can be, what's up? I'll be like doing like this the whole time. What's going on, guys? Probably this is probably
Mary Mobley says the stream is so good I can see the red in your eyes.
Anyway,
put sunglasses over your glasses, Cheryl says.
That'd be a bit much. Speaking of Cheryl, I'm going to give, even though she's real sassy over in the chat, as per usual, I'm going to go ahead and give her a shout out anyway. For any of you guys who are in the Boss Facebook group, or the rest of you who should be in the Boss Facebook group, which we do have the link to it down below. Cheryl did a post earlier today. She's recently been working on reorganizing. She let her spaces, plural probably.
She's got stuff in every room.
Her death piles,
I've seen her pictures.
Yeah, a little bit out of control, but you know what? She's taking control of it. All right, she's getting it under control, and so she did a whole bunch of reorganizing. Excuse me. She's been working on it for like the last week or so.
I think it's been like a month actually. She's been working on it.
Okay, why don't you?
But whatever. That's fine.
Rude! How rude! Anyway, bottom line, Cheryl's been working really hard on it. And she just finally finished it up. She got her husband set up some new shelving for her, and it's like ridiculously organized. So now she can feel like she's better than everyone else because
it's nice and pretty and organized.
Yeah, because she's dialed in. But yeah, you guys should totally check it out because it looks awesome. So congrats to Cheryl, even though
Cheryl says
she's a wench.
Let her talk. She rarely praises me.
Cheryl, I love you. Wait, Cheryl, I love you. Anyway.
Yeah, it does look really good.
Yeah, it looks great. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for our Sunday live haul.
We have almost 100 people watching already live, and we're just getting started. So you're just starting to get your notifications and all that.
Awesome.
So Red Robin's in the chat, says hello. And Joe says hello because they're watching.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Joe.
I'm glad that Joe's watching us with his dreamy eyes.
Joe has pretty eyes.
I always like to talk about how pretty Joe's eyes are. Hopefully I'm making him blush. I hope so. But anyway, so you guys notice like the title of this video, this week's video, and also like what I have in the little thumbnail for the video. Listen, it's not hyperbole, okay? We're not exaggerating.
Hyperbole. Ooh, big word.
Thanks, Mom. Anyway, it's not clickbait. And, sometimes, listen, actually, my sales this week have been fine. They're not really any different than what they usually are. They're fine. Vicki's, on the other hand, sometimes we'll be like, oh, we've had a bad week, or, oh, my sales have been really bad. And then it's like we had like $1,000 in sales for the week, which for us, having $1,000 gross is pretty low. And then people out there will be like, oh, that'd be like my best week. Well, let me tell you guys, this time around, we're not kidding, okay? This one over here, we're actually going to be having a funeral for her sales numbers this week because it's rough. And I'm not kidding.
Oh, it's bad
at all.
It's bad. So not only were the sales bad, but you'll see.
You'll see
how bad, and you'll feel my pain. So just understand that people talk about, okay, we're both 6-figure resellers, meaning that we both sell well over 6 figures a year online. This year, I'm on track to do like 130 to 140 gross sales. Okay, so I'm not complaining. I know that that's a good number. Katy's probably going to do about 110 to 120, and I know that she's that's a good number. Neither one of us are complaining about that, especially since I did just 100,000 last year, and I've got an increase of 40,000 this year. Not complaining. I know that that's good. But the reality is that it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to look at your numbers overall. You can't micromanage and look at your eBay business transactionally because you will drive yourself insane.
Let me tell you something though, guys. Yeah.
But it's still a rough week.
Let me tell you something. Greg's over here saying, uh-oh. Let me tell you something. She's talking a big game right now. She sounded very confident, but a little while, like earlier this morning when she showed me her numbers, she's like, how can I even be teaching people? And it's true. She was like, I can't be like expecting to teach people with these numbers. And she was, and so I was the one like giving her the pep talk. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, what's your last 30 days? And she's like, oh, well, yeah. And then I'm like, and what's like your last year? And I was telling her, I'm like, you realize like this is actually really good that this happened because we're going to be able to talk about it. And I think that sometimes when you watch people on YouTube, or you follow people on Instagram and all you ever see is the very best of the best. And it seems like every week they just have like these amazing numbers, amazing sales. Everything's always going right. I could see how it could be frustrating for somebody if you're just starting out or you're struggling a little bit, right? Because it just looks like
it's disheartening.
It's like, oh, these people just have it all figured out and they don't struggle at all. Why am I having such a hard time? And I think it matters to be able to see that even for somebody who's got great numbers overall, guess what? You're going to have like
a really shitty month.
Yeah, you're going to have like a bad month, or you're going to have a bad week or a bad day. And I'm telling you guys, her week this last week, I'm just going to keep grinding it into the wound here. Like I'm just going to rub that salt in because I've never seen anything.
It's pathetic.
I've never seen anything.
I think you guys are going to laugh, and honestly, it's pretty pathetic.
Oh, it's real bad.
If this were any indication of what my business looked like on the regular, I would just quit and go get a job at Burger King. Honest to God, it's that bad.
Sorry about wiping my nose, guys. The thing about like the eyeball being in pain is it makes my nose runny.
That makes no sense.
What do you mean it makes no sense?
Why is your nose running because your eyeball hurts?
You've never had like your eye, something gets stuck in your eye and it like starts watering and it makes your nose run? Guys, am I crazy here or is she the crazy one? Am I the crazy one or is she the crazy one?
I think we're both a little crazy.
Yeah, I think it probably has something to do with like increased, I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, guys.
Yes, exactly. Sonny's like, is eBay broken? It's a better excuse. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I know my anatomy. I was a nursing student. Thanks, Lori.
She just likes to harass me.
But yeah, eBay's not broken. I just happen to have a really crappy week online. And it's funny because like even yesterday I had one sale for $40. I have very few 0 days, but that's as close to a 0 day as I generally get.
Yeah.
One sale for $40, $45, I think it was, and free shipping. And today I'm over 700 in sales and I've already sold like 14 items. So you just like.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like, yes, it can make you feel a little bit better to know other people are having a hard time too. However, don't let that keep you from making sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing and that you're looking for ways to improve your own store, because you don't ever want to put too much on outward influences, like eBay. I mean, I know that Gabby was just kind of joking around about like eBay being broken, I'm assuming, but I get it. It's sometimes it's easier to think about like, oh, there's something wrong with eBay, or there's something wrong with PayPal, or something wrong with Etsy, or any number.
And sometimes that's accurate.
Sure.
Sometimes eBay's making changes. Sometimes the website is down. Sometimes that does upset the algorithms. It's true. We all know about Glitchapalooza. We're still talking about it a year plus later.
Yeah.
But it happened, and some of that was
right, and that was real. So. And what was our response to that, or my response? And then you followed along. I started putting time into Etsy. And so here I am this summer. And, like my last 31 days on eBay, it's been so-so. It's okay. It's about what it was last year. but then I have Etsy and I've done over 2,000 in the last month. So it's like, it's because I didn't just like go, oh, it's just eBay and all these glitches and sit around and wait for it to fix itself. You know, I went and did something about it. But anyway, all right. Do you want to go ahead and look at these numbers?
You can go first because yours look nice. Well, your numbers are actually good fit for the week.
Mine are all right. Mine are all right.
They're not like out of this world fantastic, but they're good. They're good. Solid numbers.
You shut your hole.
I'm not saying it's like a fourth quarter number.
You shut up. Anyway, I was going to say my numbers are actually okay. I have to say, you know, I feel like this week I finally, like numbers aside, just as far as my workflow goes, this week I'm finally getting back into the flow after July. And what is it? It's August 25th. September. Like seriously, guys, it's almost like, you know,
we've had the summer from hell, I think.
You know, when you're like on a diet or you're trying to eat better, and like you get really into it and like, you know, or going to the gym and it's like you finally get that. I've done it before, woman. I've had my moments. No, like I used to be very active and I did a lot of cycling and stuff like that. Cross country, so you shut it. But when you get into like the habit of a certain lifestyle, it's easier to keep up on it. And then like you'll go somewhere else for a week and then you eat like crap, or you can't exercise, or you just throw yourself out of your routine. And sometimes it's like almost it feels impossible to get back into that flow. And it's like it feels like you're trudging through mud. That's kind of how it's been, I feel like, for the last like month for me. And so I finally am feeling like better. Like I'm getting my groove back a little bit.
Cheryl says fluffy people don't throw shade. I'm not throwing shade, honey. I know I'm fluffy.
There was a lot of shade being thrown. So whatever. Anyway. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see, let me get the right one. And okay. So here are my numbers for the week. And so, you know, I actually don't have a lot of items being sold, but I've been selling some higher price stuff. So I had 21 items go out from eBay. 7 went out for Etsy for a total of 28 items sold.
That's a slow week though, number wise, right? Like 20
items.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't. If you've been paying attention at all to my numbers,
no, because I usually just pay attention to my own.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely a little bit slower, but I had a lot of higher priced items. You'll see, like you can see from my average sale price.
Yeah.
My number, those numbers have been high. So eBay gross sales $1,434.39, and then my Etsy gross sales not bad, $679.43. So I have a total gross of $2,113.82. My shipping was actually pretty high, and that's actually because I had a lot of international sales. I think last Monday I shipped out like 5 or 6 items that went international. So that like I'm over $100 more, I think, than I was last week.
So that adds makes for a higher gross, but also makes for higher shipping.
Yes. And so $95.21 for my promotion fees between eBay and Etsy. And then you've got your final value fees there. Total cost $559.85. My cost of goods, about $200. My total net sales, $1,350.97. So my gross average sale price, $75.49, and my net was $48.36. So I'm actually really happy with my average sale price. And I'm okay with my sales. They're pretty decent.
That's true what Allison says, and I have said that back to school week is traditionally slower. It's actually the last couple weeks of August are traditionally slow on eBay in general. It does depend on where you are in the country. Back to school week is different for every part of the country. Like kids went back to school 2 weeks ago here, but they haven't gone back to school yet on the East Coast. So it depends on where you live.
So Grandma Cheap Cheap says, "Bless your heart." No, she didn't really, but I like to say that. Oh,
look, we can
actually see a picture on here now. Grandma Cheap Cheap, what's up, Grandma Cheap Cheap? $10 super chat says, "Thank you for your info on Billy Bass, Obermeyer snow stuff, and all the good y'all do."
Aw,
y'all do.
Y'all.
So it's a little super chat. Super chat. Super chatty. Yo.
Oh, your hands are cold.
I know. It's because you keep it so frigid in here. It's your fault. Anyway, thanks, Grandma Cheap Cheap. Bless your heart.
No, see, that's not a nice thing to say.
Okay.
Bless your heart is a southern way to say F you.
Oh.
So don't say
Grandma
that.
Cheap Cheap, I would never say that to you. Never.
It's a nice southern way to say, go F yourself.
Okay, I won't say that.
Don't say
Grandma
that.
Cheap Cheap, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so you guys ready to see Vicki's numbers? Now you're going to see this, and you're going to see that she had some sales. and you're going to see that she had some sales, and you're going to see that she does have a net. But please, that's not the whole story. We'll get to it. Vikki, please continue.
All right. So 38 eBay sales, 1 Etsy for a total of 39, total of $1,393 on eBay, $53 and change on Etsy for a total of $1,447 for the week. Not horrible, not great at all, but not horrible, right? Mm-hmm. Shipping $239, it's about average for me. Promotion fees, $54.30. eBay final value fees, $295. Etsy fees. So total costs of $593. My cost of goods are about the same. It's usually about 10%, $130 or so. My total net sales for the week, $724.
Can you talk about this real quick? Finish that.
Yeah. My average sale price is terrible at $37. My net price is $18, also terrible. So $724, my total net. Okay, that's first of all.
So your net's under 1,000, which not something to be super excited about. When you're doing it full time like we are, you've been doing it as long as we have.
Right.
Under 1,000 net doesn't
My
happen
net generally
very
needs
often.
to be about 15 to 1,800 is where I want it to be. So 700 net is pretty bad for me anyway.
So some of you may be thinking, heck, I only do 400 a month or 400 a week net, and I'm happy with that. Hold on a second.
So not only was my net $724, I had 6 returns this week for $771 total. So
700. Hold on a second. Your returns were $771. Do you guys notice anything right here? Here? Yeah. Her total net sales, $724.
So my week was negative $46 and change. Negative week. I had a negative week, guys. Negative. Did you hear that? Negative week.
Negative week. Not only did she have a negative week, she had to ship out 40 packages. She had to do a whole lot of work to fill these orders to basically make $0. Mm-hmm. Negative dollars.
Yep. Allison says, I blame Dana. It's not Dana's fault. But here's the thing. I will say returns are a part of doing business. They are they are a part of the business in general. I had one return that went very, very badly where I got screwed on all sides. It was not good, not pretty. It doesn't happen often. I'm not going to really get into it because it is what it is. Customer sent back something smashed. eBay didn't help me. It wasn't insured. It's a mess.
It was the
perfect storm of a week. I usually get maybe 2 or 3 returns a month. No big deal. $20 there, $30 there. Not a great big deal. Yeah. Everything can be resold for the most part. This was
you had lower sales than normal.
Lower sales. 3 huge returns. One which is completely unsaleable, which was smashed to bits, and a couple I'm still waiting on to come in. I can resell everything except one item. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. I know it's going to get better. And let's see, like Kara's like, things will be better soon. It will, Kara. I don't need to GoFundMe, Cheryl. I'm good, honey. But, it happens. So, this is the reality of being in business like this. Sometimes you're going to have a really crappy week. And this for me was the really crappy week. But what did I do? I didn't stop listing. I didn't stop working.
You cried a little bit.
I whined quite a bit, actually. I did not, not work. I did not list. It didn't stop me from going out and sourcing. So, it's one of those jobs. If this was the norm that I had a week like this, I think this is the worst week I've ever had in 20 years.
You've never had a negative before,
Never. It's the worst week I've ever had online. And if this were indicative of any week in general, if this had happened to me 10 years ago, I'd probably be like, F eBay, I'm out of here. I'm quitting. I'm going to get a real job again. But, it hurts. It hurts.
It does.
I'm not going to say it doesn't. That cuts into the bottom line and it stinks. So most of the stuff I can resell. I'll relist it, resell, whatever. So it's not really lost money. It's just comes off of the profits for the week. There is some money lost with the return shipping fees. I had a few people open up some false item not as described. So I ate some shipping return money on those. Yeah. Yes, eBay protections are getting a little bit better, but when someone purchases under a guest account, there's not a lot of repercussions because they're not going to have a history of doing this. Mm-hmm. So, and getting a $6 credit back as of October 1st when someone does that is not going to help me when your return shipping is $75 and they're going to throw you a $6 credit if it's a false item not as subscribed. I'm like, BFD, what's that going to do for me?
Yeah.
So it was a crappy week.
Yep. It happens, guys.
But moving on.
Yeah. And yes, more importantly, as Victoria Smith pointed out, you ate asada fries.
Yes.
And they were real good.
Katie and I shared some carne asada fries last night with like these crushed hot Cheetos on the top. I don't even know.
It's the flamin' hot Cheetos. Mm-hmm. And there's this taco place called Abuela's Tacos. And it's kind of it's not in like the nicest neighborhood, but seriously, those asada fries are so good. Mm-hmm. It sounds kind of, I don't know, it sounds a little weird, but they take the flamin' hot Cheetos and they crush it up all over the top, and there's so much cheese and deliciousness.
It's really good. It's real good.
Real good.
So yeah, as everybody says, yep, it's done. It's over. Moving on. Let me put this week in the rearview mirror, right?
Yep. But seriously, guys, if you ever go through like a similar time and you're feeling frustrated, just remember it happens to everybody. It really does. And the best you can do is have your moment, cry, be upset. If you need to take a day off and just be like, I'm done with everything.
And I've done that. I've done that. I've been like, all right, I'm going to the pool. Screw this. Or I'm going shopping, because we all like to source, right? I'm going shopping. Screw this. Yeah, and then come back and have a game plan of how you're going to fix it. And again, sometimes it's not something you can fix, but you can double down, and you can, if you're not making sales, then that means you're doing less shipping, which means you got a little more time to list. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, and I think everybody's had those really crappy days. Yeah, it's an ice cream kind of week, Cheryl said. So it was just a crappy sales week. It is what it is. Every time my phone would buzz with an eBay message, I'd be like, Jesus, is that another freaking return? Yeah. Like you start getting PTSD from your phone dinging at you. It's awful. So Katie won a week, Kimberly says. Yep, I did win a week. And then I'm upstairs yelling like, make sure you... Because, they have the new help desk, seller's help desk or whatever, help thing. It makes it a little bit easier to actually report a false INAD. And I'm like telling her to make sure she does that. And she's like, it doesn't even matter. Yeah. So, Juliana, that's a very good question. I was wondering about returns having the same insurance we send it out with. Does the label that eBay send have the $100 coverage or any? No, it does not. Which is super lame. So here's how I know. The item that the customer sent back with their eBay return shipping label, because they claimed a false item not as described, it was a $200 item. It cost $75 to ship each way. They got a free $75 label. They shipped it back to me, and they shipped it back smashed. So my only recourse was to try and make a USPS claim, which they could have denied because the customer really didn't package it well at all. But they didn't deny it, but they only gave me $50 because that is all it's insured for. And when you call eBay and you speak to the manager and you speak to the manager above that at the concierge, which I did nicely, sort of, they do not even know what you're talking about because they have no idea what the labels are insured for. Yeah. So the labels do not have $100 insurance. They also do not have any extra insurance, but it had extra insurance when I sent it out. Yeah. Just not when they print that automatic label coming back to you. So that's something they need to work on. I'd like to make it for them to make it easier for us to purchase the labels for, because that's the problem when it's automatically, especially with like an INAD, it's automatically an approved return, and they can pretty much immediately print a label out. So, and I get that there's the need to expedite it so that the buyers aren't left hanging, especially clearly there's a flaw in the system. Especially in times when it's like a legitimate INAD, because there's lots of terrible sellers out there, who don't do a very good job of either describing their item or shipping their item. So there's plenty of times when people need to be able to like get something returned. They shouldn't have to be like left hanging. That's correct. But at the same time, as sellers, if we can get cheaper in shipping somewhere else, or we can make sure we get stuff insured if it's something that's really expensive. Mm-hmm. I mean, you should be able to have that option and not make it so hard. But it was not an easy thing to go through. And I'm, again, cost of doing business. It's not something that's happened to me ever before, honestly. Yeah. And it was a hard hit of a couple $100 this week that I am out. It was the perfect storm. Yeah. And the problem with the return system is that there are a lot of problems with the return system. Yeah. And there's not a lot of, there are holes in the system, and there's not a lot of recourse. And there's no, I mean, I talked to manager, I talked to the supervisor in the department, and I talked to that person's supervisor, and this was in concierge. So they know what they were talking about. And they were very apologetic, but they did not have any capability to help me any further. So anyway,
all right, let's get
moving on. It's not going to happen again. It was just a one-time thing. And like someone said, the chances of it happening again are slim to none, but it sucked.
Yeah. Just like anything else, just like if you had a brick and mortar store, stuff gets knocked over and smashed, stuff gets stolen. There's a million different things that can go wrong when you have a brick and mortar store. And luckily with an online store, there are less opportunities for things to go wrong. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to sting when it happens. And it doesn't mean that there's not going to be times when you're going to have like everything happening all at once, and it's just going to feel like you're under an avalanche. So it's just reality. But let's go on to more fun stuff. Let's talk about,
we did have some good sales.
Let's talk about highlights. Let's talk about the stuff you basically gave away this week.
Yes. This is the stuff that I worked for free to sell.
Vasquez Vintage wants to know, what's a good percentage to budget for shrinkage? You know, honestly, I've never really thought about it.
But my returns average about 2.5%.
Right, but that's returns. So shrinkage is more like it's gonzo. It's like if you have a brick and mortar store, your shrinkage
don't really
is like,
have a specific budget for it.
Here's a percentage of stuff here's an amount every year that's gonna like completely disappear. And I don't know. I think with the kind of stuff that we sell, it really doesn't happen enough that you have to necessarily budget for it. I will say that you want to get your business built up to the point where something like this isn't going to ruin you. It's like people talk about, worrying about managed payments coming up and how you have to wait a couple of days to get your money. And listen, I get it. People first starting out, you are in a position where sometimes you barely have enough money to ship the stuff you're selling. But I got to tell you, it's still business, and you don't want to be in a position where something going wrong for a day or for a couple of sales or for a week is going to completely put you under. So whatever you can possibly do to keep your costs down, so that you are, able to, I guess, absorb bad days, bad weeks, even bad months. Honestly, the better off you're going to be if you want to run this like a real business.
Yeah, you just have to be able to have money in your budget in general. I'm not really sure what a brick and mortar is. I think brick and mortar shrinkage was around 6 or 8% back when I used to work in brick and mortar, but it's been I have not worked in retail since I was 20 years old.
Greg says he thinks it's like maybe like 22%. I really don't know. And honestly, no matter what, it'll never be as high as a brick and mortar because there's so many more things that go wrong. There's so many, stuff getting stolen. That's why when, people complain and worry and make decisions based on the possibility that something bad might happen with our online stores, I kind of want to be like, what are you doing? You're making too many decisions based on stuff that's barely ever going to happen, and not at the rate that it would happen in real life. So
someone asked earlier, Michelle asked, can you write this off on taxes? Oh yes, absolutely. This is a business loss. Absolutely. I'll write off every penny of it.
Yeah. She's got to refund
the item, the item, the shipping, the loss, the damage, all of that. It's all written off.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's go ahead and share our sales highlights for the week. You like that?
Okay.
Highlights for the week.
Sure.
All right, here we go. First one's you.
All right. So this is just a kind of a cool t-shirt. I don't really sell as many t-shirts as Katy does, obviously, but this is one that I really liked. I had it for quite a while, but I wasn't budging on price on this one. I paid maybe $2 for it. I just thought it was pretty cool. It sold for the price that you see there, $46 and change. It was less t-shirt than it was polyester. It wasn't it's
kind of like a jersey t-shirt.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, which you have it on there, jersey. Very cool. I like it. I dig it. All right, first one for me. Remember these undershirts that
I gave to you?
That you hooked me up with. So I had paid 99 cents for each of these. I sold a few of them already. I can't remember how much I sold them for. But I sold the individual ones for quite a bit. And then I took an offer on one of these bundles because I divided them up into 3 packs because I had 9 of them. And so I actually took an offer for $60 for one of these. So I still have 2 more 3 packs available. But not too shabby because they were 99 cents. Actually, they weren't even 99 cents each. They were basically 75 cents each because it was on a Thursday. So yeah, just for blank undershirts. And again, if you guys remember, I tried to trade these in at Buffalo Exchange and they didn't want them. They should have taken them.
Look at that, how it says you're a longtime member.
Ooh.
Is that a new thing, I wonder?
I don't know.
Is that a new designation?
Ooh.
You're not a longtime member, really, but...
How dare you? Well, it depends on what they call a longtime member. I've been around for 3.5, almost
Allison
4 years.
Says, I'm not scared of Dana. Please don't tell her.
All right, next one for you.
So this is one of those felt kits, kind of like one of those crafting kits. I always tell people, pick them up. Pick up almost all of them, especially when they have to do with Christmas. The Christmas ones sell well. So I think I paid $2 for this. That's a nice blurry photo of mine right there. I'm not sure if that was mine or Dana's. I'll blame Dana since she's not in the chat.
We're going to blame Dana on everything.
Yeah, that's
Dana.
what she gets. So vintage, 1994. It sold for the price that you see there, $53 and change. I paid $1, maybe $2. I never pay more than that for these.
Yeah. Cheryl says $20 a piece for blank t-shirt. I mean, they're undershirts. So just blank t-shirts, I don't think I would have gotten the same amount for those undershirts. It's kind of one of those things that...
It's something to do with the way that they're made. They're structured differently than they are now.
The way they feel.
The way they feel. People get used to the way that they feel. That nice 100% cotton it has a different feel to it than the stuff that, is considered 100% cotton now. So
yeah. All right, next one for me. Hey, remember these Toy Story vans? So I sold these.
Good picture.
Well, I use this. See, this is where I use the Snapseed. And it does a really good job on like the stuff where there's a high contrast. And you can just make that disappear. So yeah, I did that for my first photo. Anyway, so I've had these up for a couple of months now, maybe 2 months. Yeah, so I went ahead and took a lower offer. I took an offer of $100, but they were going to the UK. So they paid for shipping.
10 on shipping or so.
Yeah, so I was happy to get that because I think they weren't even priced that high. They were priced at like $24, something like that at Savers, and then I had the 25% off. I actually got these at Crazy Town, Crazy Town, the Savers as we call it, Charleston Savers.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I didn't pay too much for them, and they were definitely like a smaller size, men's 7s. So. Not a bad sale.
No.
All right, next one for you.
So these actually sat around for a little bit. I didn't pay very much for them. I think I only paid like $8. For some reason, they were marked very low. I think they just didn't know that they were Uggs.
You didn't have these that long.
I've had them maybe 6 months or so. I did pick these up at Savers for like $7 or $8. They're new. They're new without box. They're meant to look like that. They're meant to look distressed.
Yeah. I think it's been less than 6 months. I remember these pretty distinctly.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell clearly by the bottom and the soles that they're new. All I took off was the sticker, but you can tell that they had not been walked on or worn or anything. So they're pretty cool. I actually, if they were my size, I probably would have kept them. And I don't even like Uggs, but I like these Uggs.
I'm glad you sold them.
Really? So they sold for what you see there as well. I always have best offer on stuff, and a lot of times people don't offer. Mm-hmm. So they sold for $87.07. They are free shipping. I will ship them probably cubic in a bag.
Yeah, for sure.
So for $8.92 they will ship, if not less, depending on where they're going.
Nice. All right, next one for me, this Stussy sweatshirt. I've had this one for a while, but I had it priced really high. And but I just think it's a really cool sweatshirt. And so I did take an offer on this one as well, but it did go international. And so I took an offer for $100, and this actually went to Finland. Ooh. So again, $100 plus they paid shipping, and I made a little bit on that shipping because of Pirate Ship and their simple export rate. So again, you guys. You should be doing.
Cheryl is getting sassy in the
holy
chat
balls.
Right
all right, next one for you.
Okay, so this one is just to rub in Alexis's face, actually.
Oh, that's so mean.
No, it's funny that this is a thing, right? So we talk about buying certain out of stock items for movie props or whatever. I'm not always going to put movie prop in the title, but in this case I did. I paid 50 cents to $1 for this at an estate sale that I was at with Alexis in the Berkeley area. Mm. See, she just said F you. So they sold for $50, but the buyer also paid $25 to ship this internationally. And the shipping, because it was like 6 ounces, the shipping was like $10 international.
You don't think that there's somebody who like back in like the late 80s, early 90s was like, man, there's nothing like a maxi thin when you just need a panty shield. And now they have to like scour eBay and spend hundreds of dollars every month.
That's
to like
a bloody shame, Sonny says. The chat is funny. Anyway, so I think I made actually like $65 on these because of where they went. So 50 cents to $65. I'm not too shabby. And yes, when you ship international, depending on the country that you're shipping to, most countries have tracking, door-to-door tracking.
Yeah.
Tara asked. Yeah, these just went first class international. I put them in a box. This is a small box in another small box. And they shipped for like $9 and change.
There you go. All right, I'm jumping over to the good old Etsy.
Ooh.
So here is Miami Dolphins T-shirt, but it's like kind of a jersey. It looks like a jersey, vintage 80s. And this is such an awesome shirt. I love it. And it's pretty much.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like dead stock. It was like you can tell it hasn't been worn or washed or anything. Single stitch, just really cool construction. And so I sold this, and it sold for, we're going to use Flipper Tools and see what the final sale price was. I do not have a sale going on right now in my Etsy store. I need to set a new one up. I should probably do that, but haven't had one for like a week or so. And so this one sold for $69.99, free shipping. It went domestic, so it was free shipping. But yeah, not too bad of a sale. $70.
It's fire.
It's anyway, that's my cool Miami Dolphin sale. Let's go back to
my nice photo there too.
Yeah.
You can see my you can tell when I take these pictures. Actually, I'm not sure if I took this one or Dana. Again, Dana took it under the bus. She's not in the chat. So Dorothy was with me when I picked this up. Actually, Dorothy and I had gone garage sailing a few months ago. And I picked this up for $10. Customer really wanted $10 for it. And I paid $10. And it sold for $145.
Crazy.
Free shipping, but it weighs like 2 pounds.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby.
I've had tons of watchers on it the whole time. I've had some real lowball offers, but I knew it was going to sell for close to what I wanted.
Yeah. This is my last sale of the week. Oh, see, now this says August 25th, but this actually sold late last night.
Well, they may have East Coast time.
They might, but it was late last night that this one sold. And it is a loan.
I don't mean to interrupt. Allison's comment. Ew. Ew.
Allison, inappropriate.
Gross.
Anyway, so this is a satin jacket, kind of the souvenir, was it Sukajan style jacket. And this is just a really cool Taekwondo jacket. It's got like an awesome tiger on the back of it. Really awesome. And I love these styles of jackets. I wish I could find some more because I love them so much. I just think they're cool and they sell really well. And it sold for $99.99 domestic sale. But yeah, $100, guys. Ooh. And this is just, I love it when they have like all this embroidery on them. That's
a cool one.
Yeah, this one, I'm actually surprised it took as long as it did. Like it's been listed for at least a few months. But I just think it's a really cool jacket. So next.
So some of you might remember, maybe not, the haul of Lululemon stuff that I grabbed when I was with Katy and her sister.
Yeah, in Salem.
Back in February?
Yeah, this is from the Humane Society thrift
February
store.
in Salem. I had gotten like 12 items for like $8 a piece. Mm-hmm. And this is the last of them.
Ah.
And I finally sold this one for $110.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've sold all of them for at least $100.
Yeah.
And I have none left.
Oh, I'd like to say, Sherry in the chat says, I love how transparent you both are. You've quickly become my favorite to watch. Love the FB group as well.
Aw, thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry. We really appreciate hearing that. All right, next one for me. Guys, you might remember this. I just showed this like, a week or two ago?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, maybe. San Francisco 49ers. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like we see this stuff all the time because we are in Vegas and there are a lot of 49ers fans around here.
Yep. I sold a 49ers shirt today.
Yeah, and so I actually picked this up.
$15,
I picked this up at Buffalo Exchange, so I probably paid about $14 to $16 for it. But this is a vintage 90s. You can see it says right there, I think it says 1994, and it's Flintstones 49ers, just a really cool sweatshirt. And go ahead and see how much I sold that for. Drum roll, everyone. Here we go. $69.99.
Wow.
There you go. $70. So see, guys, I know the Buffalo Exchange, everything's a little bit more expensive, but still it's more expensive than thrift store prices. But if you know the value of the stuff that you're picking up, you can definitely make some money there.
For sure.
Because like I said, I probably paid like $16 for this, and then I sold it for $70, and I had it listed for maybe a week when it sold. So not a bad flip. Really cool sweatshirt.
So Lori said, hoping we do a thrift store haul together too. We need to get back into those. We've actually filmed 2 or 3 times where we've got little snippets, and we have not uploaded an entire video because we either forget to film for the rest of the day or it doesn't quite work out. So yeah, we have little snippets. We need to do
we're hireable,
an on the road video. I agree.
Yeah.
So this is something that I picked up at a Savers. Sold it on Etsy. It sold in less than a week. I picked this up. I pick up anything Michael Graves. First of all, let me just say anything Michael Graves is collectible. Michael Graves did a whole line of stuff for Target in the late 90s, early 2000s. Kitchenware. He did a whole thing with collaboration with Disney. He did a lot of games and things like that. So this stuff, every time you see Michael Graves, just buy it. If it's a reasonable price, buy it, because you're going to sell it for whatever reason. He's a designer that is highly collectible. So I picked this up for like $2. It's a regular board game price, $2 to $3 at Savers, and sold it on Etsy within a week.
Bam.
For that, yeah.
Did they pay shipping or no?
They did not pay shipping, but it's not a very big game. It actually went box in a bag.
Oh, nice.
I did want to add, I actually completely forgot to add my Macari sales for the week.
Oh.
So actually, I may have been in the positive, but
by $10.
By about $10. Because I forgot. You have to add the Macari line. Because I just started cross-posting using Macari. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay, last one for me. So this is a funny one because this is another one that I picked up at Buffalo Exchange, and I actually paid $20 for this t-shirt because I just thought it was so super cool, and it's super faded, and I don't know that it originally was even like this. Somebody probably bleached this after the fact. But it's all bleached. It's got holes in it. It's pretty awful. The graphics are all cracked and faded. It's single stitch. You can see right here, there's holes all over in the back. It's very thread worn. But this is like one of those cases where that's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's actually a bonus. And so I had this price really high, and I had somebody who had made an offer. I think they made an offer for like $80 on eBay, and I accepted, and then they never paid. I had to do the whole open an unpaid case and then close it out. I had somebody else like message me and say, why are you selling this why is it so expensive? And they were like really irritated that I dared to charge so much.
How dare you?
That I dared to charge so much when somebody just bleached it. And I'm like, whatever. I didn't even respond to them. But anyway, so it just sold this week, and it actually went to Australia. So once again, they paid shipping. I sold it for $99.99. So I sold it for $100. Plus shipping to Australia. And
I know, seriously, right now, Greg, did you find that in a paint bucket behind the door in the garage? Seriously, that is the most roached out looking piece of crap t-shirt, and someone paid $100 to wear that.
Roached out is cool, you guys. This is one of those cases that there's certain things. Listen, when you have, I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share here. There's certain items where that's okay. Like you don't want a roached out jacket. You don't want a jacket with holes and stains on it. But a t-shirt, and sometimes sweatshirts too, a t-shirt especially, like depending on.
I understand it. I just want to know what kind of idiot is wearing that.
That's not an idiot. That's not.
We're paying.
They're not an idiot though. It's fashion.
It's not fashionable. I don't care if I sound like my mom right now. That is gross.
Do we want to talk about your Birkenstocks?
Listen, my Birkenstocks are ugly. And I own one pair that I bought because my feet were hurting. I don't wear them out.
You have other shoes that are also ugly. I just don't tell you they're ugly.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Anyway, people have differences of opinions about what's fashionable and what's not.
Sandra says it's fashion.
And in the streetwear world, T-shirts that are roached out like that are super, super popular, especially like band T-shirts. Those can go for hundreds, if not thousands, depending on what they are, what band they are. And just because you don't agree with it does not mean it's wrong.
Sunny, I purchased a pair of Birkenstocks. I'll make you laugh right here. Okay. So my lesbian Birkenstocks that we laugh about.
They're like bejeweled.
They're horrible. They're horrible. And they're ugly. And I hate the ugly shoes, but I know a lot of people love them because they're super comfortable. Now I know why people love them, because they are super comfortable. Mm-hmm. I was wearing shoes one day and we were out thrifting all day. We were with Lorna, as a matter of fact. And my heel broke on my sandals. And we were on the other side of town. So I was like, I'll just buy a pair of shoes where, the next Savers. Mm-hmm. So I bought a pair of Birkenstocks that have bejeweled things all over them. And I was like, they're okay because they have bejewels on them.
Yep.
They're horrific. So I've had them for about a month, maybe 2 months.
You don't seem to realize how much they look like your other shoes. Because they really do. They look like shoes you would buy and wear.
They are bedazzled.
You just have a mental block about them because they are Birkenstocks. Mm-hmm. But they really they're bejeweled just like all your other sandals are.
Yep, Sandra, totally. I wear my Birkies and flannel to buy toaster ovens.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Anyway, it's true.
All right, let's get into our haul. And guys, this show is probably going to be, well, I don't know. It's probably going to be about the same length as it usually is, honestly, because we have some cool stuff to share.
We do.
But we went to an estate sale. I took you to a preview for an estate sale, and we ended up. It was crazy, guys. So it was one of these estate sales where if you're on the if you're on the mailing list, you get to go in a day early, and they were only going to do it for 2 hours. So we get there like 45 minutes ahead of time. It was going to go from 9 to 11. We get there 45 minutes ahead of time. Mm-hmm. We hang out. They ended up letting us in 10 minutes early.
We were the third people in.
Yeah, we were checking out at 9:06. So anything that we thought or that you thought was worth getting, you already had, and other people had already gotten a bunch of really good stuff by 9:06.
It's true.
It was crazy.
There's only one person in front of me. Actually, the two people that were in front of us were the only people that got things that I wanted that I did not get. I got a lot of the stuff that I wanted. Mm-hmm. So Katy was definitely with me. As manpower, and we actually picked up Dorothy. So the three of us were there, and the two of them, I gave them their assignments. Okay, Dorothy, you're going to go find this and this in the pictures. Katy, you're going to find this and this in the pictures. Yeah. So we had a good time, and they were just my helpers for the day. So I got some good stuff. Yeah,
so we went and did that, and then I wasn't going to do a full thrifting day. But we did that, and then I went and dropped you and Dorothy off at the Charleston Savers, and then I went over to Buffalo Exchange. It was funny because last week at Buffalo Exchange, I only got 5 items. It was kind of a bust.
It was
overall. This week, though, I didn't take anything into trade, but I just bought a bunch of stuff. I ended up getting a whole bunch. There was so much good stuff. I was excited about it. So, and then we did some other thrifting and stuff. So, we got a decent amount of stuff.
We did.
Yeah. All right.
Let me start. I'll show some of the things from that haul, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll do some of the stuff. So this was kind of one of the things that I grabbed just because it was in the video, it was in the pictures, and I thought it was pretty cool. So
I would like to point out, though, you saw them in the pictures. She showed me like this million pictures, and as per usual, my eyes glazed over, and I went,
Yeah, yes, dear, yes, dear.
And whatever. And then she told me, like, you go to the garage and you find stuff. I have zero recollection of her saying that she wanted these. I grabbed them because I thought that was something that she would like. So I would like to say that I think I did pretty good.
You got what I wanted in spite of not paying attention. Thank you.
Because I knew you would want them. It looked because I know what you like.
So there's some books here. How to clip your own poodle. I mean, seriously?
That sounds dirty.
I know, right? Vintage books. But what they came with were these vintage dog clippers, professional dog clippers. Look at the graphics on here.
I think they're awesome.
From the 50s and stuff, right? Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid $20 total. Only one of them actually has the vintage clippers in them. Somebody has this listed, these same clippers, for $185. Are they going to get that? No. But they have a lot of accessories and all kinds of stuff in here. So I think I'll probably get a little over $100 for the whole thing. I'm going to lot it all together just as like a funky, cool lot. So I thought those were pretty cool.
I like them.
What else did I get there? I got some vintage clothes. This entire house was a mid-century modern house. One of the things I did not bring up here, but I bought 6 paint by number pictures that were on the walls. I didn't spend a lot for them. I probably spent too much for them, actually. I spent $10 a picture, and a couple of them were $12. So I bought 6 of them. I bought some paint by number clowns, some paint by number ballerina pictures, and then these scenic pictures. I didn't bring those upstairs, but they're about this big. I'll probably be able to sell them for about $50 a set. Mm-hmm. So not a huge profit, a little more than 2.5 times my money. I just thought they were cool, and I like the way they look.
My favorite thing that she got, which she didn't bring up here, is this really cool vintage 1984 Olympics poster that's framed, and it's got the cyclists on the front of it. I love that kind of stuff. I like the Olympic stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things that I picked up, I actually paid up a little bit because they had their prices were a little higher than they normally are. Usually clothing at an estate sale is like $2 or $3 an item, but they knew what they had. They had some good quality vintage stuff. So I did pay up. I paid $20 for this set. It was $10 a piece. So it's a 2-piece. This is what's called a vintage. This is 1960s. It's what's called a peignoir set. So it's like a nightie, right? So it's a nightie, a chiffon and nylon nightie. It's 2 pieces, got the nightgown and the little robe over it. It's a pretty yellow. So I'll probably sell this for at least $75.
Very nice.
$20. Let's see. I picked this up. This is also a very classic 60s, 70s dress right here, right? Look at those colors. It's just a sheath dress. It's got like a little rainbow looking thing. This is what you would call mod style. I paid $10 for it. This is the brand. This is the designer. If any of you are into clothing or even Hollywood fashion, you might recognize the name. It's called Edith Flagg, Flagg. Edith Flagg is a pretty famous designer from the 60s, 50s, and 60s. Specifically, she was a huge designer in Hollywood and designed a lot of clothing for a lot of Hollywood actresses as well. So this particular dress, again, probably in the $69, $79 range. I paid $10. This one was pretty cool too. So this is, you see the classic, little alligator there. This is Izod. This is Izod before Izod was Izod, right? So before it was owned by Izod, it was David Crystal Fashion. And this has the belt with it. It's just this vintage 60s tennis dress with the belt that goes around it. Very Twiggy style, as Grandma Cheap Cheap says. Definitely mod tennis dress. So I'll probably sell that one for about $100 as well. And let's see. This is just, this actually doesn't even have a name to it. This is just this big, long satin and lace, like nightgown dressing gown. Again, there's no name, there's no brand. It's super long. This is probably going to be one that I'll sell for about $75 as well.
Very pretty.
And you can go if you'd like. Yes, I will cross-post all of these to Etsy. They're going to be on eBay and on Etsy.
So Mary Mobley says, I just saw your t-shirt, Vikki. I just sold a Notorious RBG t-shirt out of the country. Love the shirt. Here, let me. I love it. I actually, I picked up that shirt last week or the week before. I think it was last week. I picked it up, and I was really excited to show it to her because she loves her. And I actually got her a necklace too, but which I can't find
my necklace. She bought me a necklace for Christmas that looks like her. It's her. If you know about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she wears a certain collar when she's going to dissent in a vote, and it's her dissent collar, and it's a necklace that looks like the collar. It's really cool.
It's really cool. So this week I got obviously a number of t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, whatnot. But I would like to point out the one t-shirt that I thrifted for myself that I'm really excited about. I'm wearing it right now. Check it out, guys. We'll see if anybody knows what this t-shirt is. I'll give you
I'm betting either Sandra or Greg.
Does anybody know? I'll give you a hint. It's from a movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, because it's so ridiculous. The greatest comedy of all time.
Yep, see Sandra saying yes. There you go. I knew Sandra would know it. Sandra, I'm telling you, you're my spirit animal.
Showgirls. Well, that makes her my spirit animal.
Well, I watch her Facebook and her Instagram and some of her jokes and things that she says and buys. You are seriously, you're my girl. Like, I think she's so funny.
I love it. So Showgirls is this god awful movie that was made in 1996, and I think it's one of those movies that's so terrible from beginning to end, but it's in the most majestic and wonderful way that it's so entertaining. And part of what makes it so entertaining is the fact that you can tell that the production value is very high. Like, you can tell production value. I'm not saying the acting.
All right.
I'm not saying the story. I'm saying the production value. It was a very expensive movie to make. And especially for one that was released as NC-17, but it's so absolutely ridiculous. But Nomi Malone, the character who is the woman on here, she goes to Vegas to become a dancer.
It's when Elizabeth Berkley ruined her career and any hope of a future career.
And so she buys. She's really she loves she keeps walking by this store window and sees this Versace dress in the window, and she finally has some money to go buy it, and she's wearing it, and somebody compliments her on it, and she says it's Versace. So she calls it. It's very funny. Anyway,
dumb is funny.
Seriously, guys, if you don't mind a lot of boobs, you need to watch the movie because it is so funny. It is so funny. And they were not meaning to be funny at all. Anyway.
So bad.
Yeah, so good. So good. Anyway, so I love this shirt right here, this Rude Dog shirt. And it's like so this is like totally roached out. It's like both of the sleeves are ripped at the seam. It's a crop top. It's like a short shirt. Remember Rude Dog? Do you remember this brand?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Anyway, I haven't looked at like how it sells or anything like that, but seriously, it's fantastic. I love it. It's just this ridiculous, super soft because it's just totally worn out and everything. But I think it's fantastic, like early 90s kind of stuff, maybe late 80s. Most of these I got at Buffalo Exchange. Here's another, this is definitely 80s in excellent condition, New York Giants. It's definitely pretty small, but you know what? I still do well with these. And this one's in really good condition. What are you staring off into space?
I'm looking at the shirt. I'm not looking in space.
I looked over and you were like this. That's what it looked like.
I'm looking at the shirt.
Anyway, nothing super fancy about this t-shirt, but it's in fantastic condition. I honestly don't know that it was worn much at all. It looks, maybe it was worn a couple of times, but it still has like the paper tag in it and stuff. So
Cheryl's like, pretty sure I just bought that shirt.
Which one? The New York Giants one?
I'm assuming not the Rude Dog one, because that would be kind of hard to find.
Rude Dog. So I don't always pick up the Dare shirts, but I like this one because, first of all, definitely vintage 90s single stitch. But this one's just cool because it's specific to Nevada, Nye County. I don't know where Nye County is, but it just says I support Dare. So I just like it because it's a little bit different than just kind of your average Dare shirt. And plus the basic Dare shirt has been reproduced a million times. So it's not really that rare to find it.
It's not holding the value anymore.
Yeah, although the vintage ones still sell okay, but there's just a lot of them out there. So I just thought I like this one a lot. And the Heather Gray is kind of popular because it's very 90s.
Interesting.
And then, I love anything that's kind of like surfer skater kind of thing. And this has fantastic colors on it. Fantastic. Look at the giant neon graphics on the back. This is very much like probably Zach from Saved by the Bell probably would have worn this while they were working at the beach resort. Don't you think?
Oh, possibly. Oh, Sandy Rags, who's just lurking, says Nye County is in Pahrump.
Oh, Pahrump. Okay.
So see, that's Dare from the town that has legalized prostitution.
Very nice. But yeah, just I haven't looked this up at all. Bon Temps Spot Sport. I don't know what that is. This looks very much like I'm playing some beach volleyball. Maybe I'm hanging out
while on a brick cell phone. Greg says
maybe I'm hanging out on the Top Gun set playing beach volleyball,
yes.
Or I'm in the early '90s with Zach from Saved by the Bell. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never
Something
know.
Hobie from Baywatch would wear.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Poor Hobie.
Terrible. Another terrible show. Jesus.
Poor Hobie. Remember how cute he was before he went through puberty, and then something real bad happened. I'm just saying. They can't plan for that shit. All right, I'll show you this one. I actually passed this up a couple weeks ago, and then I decided, I'm going to go ahead and get it. I get that it's just like the Tropicana, but it's such like a ridiculous kind of all over print, almost like a Metallica looking thing. But it's kind of ridiculous. Single stitch. I probably paid I think I paid like $9 for this one because it's just kind of a ridiculous t-shirt, but I should be able to sell it for $30-$40. Anyway.
My turn again?
Yeah, you show some more. You show some more.
So this happened to be my week for Halloween stuff, right? So guys, I'm always talking about buying Halloween stuff. This is the time of the year you want to look for, especially those gemmy Halloween things, because they sell really well, and they sell really well year round. Like Grandma Cheap Cheap had said with her super chat, the Billy Bass, those still sell well. But the ones that are Halloween related tend to sell the best, especially the ones that have been out of print for a while or out of production for a while, I should say. So this is not gemmy, but I thought it was, and it was in that same vein when I looked at it. And okay, so I paid $6 for this. This is a little Tales from the Crypt, Crypt Keeper. You can take it out. This will sell for, or would have sold for, about $100 because it's working and it's in the box and it's really cool.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it out.
Someone
made the mistake of letting me see it.
May have appropriated it.
First of all, I would like to point out that when I was like, I need to have that, she was like, you try to get all my stuff. Okay, one time. The only thing I've ever gotten from her before this was Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack.
Just play the darn thing.
Be quiet. You be quiet. Nightmare. I've only ever taken one thing from her. Now, Dana, on the other hand, she's gotten a million items of yours. So this is only the second time ever that I have actually been like, I have to have that. And guess what, guys? I actually paid for it. So
she did.
I paid for it. I gave her $75 for this because I knew that she could probably sell it for at least $80, maybe $100. So I actually paid for it because I get that it was a super cool find. But check this out. Here we go. You got to clap. You got to clap. Oh, no, it's not. Come on. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh, the batteries might be dying now.
Well, you got it to work last night.
I know. It was working great last night. I think the batteries, I was able to get it to work because I didn't change the batteries. But anyway, it lights up and he laughs and it's really awesome because it has the original batteries in it from. It didn't do the laugh.
And then he laughs.
Anyway, super awesome. I had to put fresh batteries in it. It's basically been sitting in this box since 1997. So
I paid $6 for it. Katy paid $75. I would have sold it for at least $100, but I'm happy. I was not going to give it away. I have to say, you could draw the line somewhere. I wasn't giving it to add to this awful collection.
No, if I'm going to take something really good from her that is like an excellent flip, I have to actually pay for it. I can't just like make her give it to me. So unless it was like close to like Christmas or something for me.
INAD, yeah. It just needs new batteries. It has the original batteries in it. Somehow she got it to work last night, but I think it was on its last legs.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Come on.
All right, let's
move on. I wanted to do the laugh. Anyway.
It does the cackle.
It's all mine. It's all mine.
So this is another thing I picked up. This I paid $1.99 for. This is just one of those things from Spirit Halloween store, but it's been around for a little while. So this is one of those door knockers, right? I paid $2 for it. I've got to replace the batteries, but the eyes flash, and then it's like a motion detected one. So certain ones sell better than others. This will probably sell for about $75. It's not working right now, but it's still in the package and has never been removed. It's still tied down, so you know it's just a dead battery.
Yeah, pretty much.
And at $2, it's never not worth the risk, right?
Yeah.
This little guy, I've shown him before. Someone said that it's not Gemmy, it's Gemmy, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard anybody actually pronounce it.
Jeff, whatever.
But this guy is a Gemmy or Gemmy. Big dancing head skeleton. You can see that I paid So $6.99. So I had 20% off of that. He's new in the box as well, still tied down. Broken or dead battery. I'm gonna but he sells for about at least $60 plus shipping.
Very cool.
So this is the time of the year when you want to definitely look in the Halloween section. Now, there's a couple of other reasons why you want to look in the Halloween section. We mentioned it last year, and I'll keep mentioning it. A lot of stores like Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Savers, they put vintage clothing and weird clothing or things they don't understand in with the costume clothing. So I've gotten some of my very best items from the costume racks, or what they consider the costume racks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any great examples of that this week, but I do have some.
By the way, guys, I'm going to put fresh batteries in that Tales from the Crypt thing, and I will do a little video on Instagram. So if you want to see it in its full glory, check out my Instagram in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
So another thing to look for is when you're looking for shoes, and if Rick Dorn were watching this, he would know what I'm talking about because he's doing a lot of high-end men's shoes. When you're looking for shoes, this is actually a fantastic brand. This brand, Alden, is a ridiculously expensive brand of shoes. But these are not shoes. These are shoe trees. So these are the cedar shoe trees. They stretch the shoes. They keep them in good shape, that type of thing.
Nice.
There are 3 of these. I bought 3 sets, and these will probably sell for about $45 each. Just the shoe trees, and you can see I paid $6.99. I paid 20% off of that.
Very cool.
Katie, I'll let you go now, and then I've just got one more batch of stuff.
You got
when you're done.
Okay. Let's see. So I just got a few T-shirts left. Just I'll go through these really quick. These are all ones I got at Buffalo Exchange. I think this is awesome. It's like Native American bear. I think the design is really cool, and Native American stuff does really well. And this is a vintage single stitch made in the U.S. T-shirt. For some reason, I always sell my shark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do lunch. And it's this cool shark and his.
Ooh, mother deals. I just picked up a pair of Aldens for $5. That's a good score.
Oh, by the way, you know how last week I sold that humpback whale tank top from Monterey Bay with the lone cypress cover? So I sold that. Like a day later, I sold another humpback whale T-shirt. I had like an all-over print one, and I sold that for $48.99. It was nuts. I'm telling you guys,
I still have
whales and sharks.
I still have my Cypress Hill tank. Same one.
They love them.
They don't love them when I sell them.
Well, sorry. I've got this this cool, I don't know how to say it, Ephrata Cycle and Sports Honda. And this is like so worn, paper thin. You can see through it.
Soft.
And then the back has like a really cool graphic on it. So, I mean, a shirt like this I could easily sell for $47.99. This is like super interesting. This is from 1987. And it says, RIP Fairchild Semiconductor Corp. And it says August 31st, 1987. So I looked this up, and this is just some company, this Fairchild Semiconductor company. And I think it was like sold off to another company in 1987. So it's just kind of an odd T-shirt, but
Tech Geek.
Yeah, but I love this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Last T-shirt. It's better in the Bahamas. This is a 70s. Again, super soft, super thin. It's distressed. It's got a couple holes in it. It's better in the Bahamas. These vintage Bahamas
such a
T-shirts.
70s looking.
Yeah. All right, guys. Are we back?
Are we back? Sorry, guys.
We should be back. Hopefully, you guys, we haven't lost everybody. Sorry, the internet went down. Let us know if you can hear us and you can see us. Yeah? Okay, I'm seeing yays. I'm seeing yeses.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what the heck happened. All of a sudden the our internet
connection and everything
went down. So sorry about that.
I mean, we were coming close to the end. We just have a few more things to show, but come on, man. I'm showing some cool stuff.
Well, thanks. Well, so sorry, guys. I apologize for that. Nothing we could have done, but we got back on pretty quickly. It only took a couple minutes.
All right. I just have two more things I'm going to show, and then you can close us out with the rest of your stuff. First of all, I have a sweatshirt. Now, when I saw the front of this, I was like, I don't know what that is. That's weird. It says After Dark. It's just got some fish on it. Would not have normally picked up a t-shirt or a sweatshirt like this based on the graphic. But this is a vintage 90s Fruit of the Loom made in the USA sweatshirt. Again, no way I would pick this up just based on this graphic right here. But I turned it around and looked at the back, and it says Berkeley Systems, Heroes of Technology. So I believe, obviously this is like a tech sweatshirt. I don't know exactly what it is or what the deal is, but I always pick up anything that's tech related. And especially when it's vintage, because who knows, I don't know what the Berkeley Systems is, but I'll definitely be looking it up. And a lot of times this kind of stuff can fetch some really good money. So I got this at Buffalo Exchange, probably paid like $12 for it. Not too shabby, but the best thing I found at Buffalo Exchange, guys.
Oh, Greg says it was a screensaver program way back in the day.
Oh, interesting. So the best thing I found, guys. You know how I feel about my Cliff Angle sweaters.
Some people do.
Check it out. So Super Bowl 25, which I believe was 1991.
I swear it smells like Drakkar. I'm not even kidding.
What is Drakkar?
Like totally 90s cologne. Drakkar.
Should I put that in my description?
It smells like Drakkar. I'm not even kidding. She pulled it up. I was like, holy crap, it smells like my ex-boyfriend's from high school.
Okay, so what I love about these, first of all, is that
Drakkar Noir. Who said that? Ken Daigle. Yes, seriously.
So first of all, I've talked about this before. People always underprice these Cliff Angle sweaters, but they really will sell for a lot more. This is from the 1991 Super Bowl. Great colors, and what's really awesome about it is that when I got it at Buffalo Exchange, it had lots of pilling on it, but I could see that there were no stains, that it was in excellent condition. It just needed a sweater shaver to go and clean it up, and now it looks like practically brand new.
I was going to say, I thought it was new. You sweater shaved the heck out of that.
Yeah, so it looks fantastic. These get underpriced all the time. I should be able to sell this for a minimum of $100, anywhere from $100 to $150. I had a different Super Bowl one that I sold. I ended up taking an offer for $70. But that particular one, the color scheme on it, it was like white, kind of cream colored like this one, but it was like pink and purple. And it just didn't look as nice. This one, the color, the red and blue stripes, I think is going to be much better. But yeah, these sell for minimum $100. I'm going to try to go for, probably I'll price it like $150 or something like that, and hope I can get at least $100. But they had this price for $18 at Buffalo Exchange. This is like the third Cliff Angle sweater that I picked up at Buffalo.
Yeah, they underpriced them.
We don't underprice them. They don't price their stuff really high. For the most part, most of their stuff is under $20. So I'm just always excited when I see these, because I know that I'm going to be able to flip them for more like $100. So, but that's the last of my stuff.
Yeah, no holes. Nope.
No holes. It's seriously.
So how many of you guys and girls apparently wore Drakkar Noir in the 90s? I'm seeing there's a lot of that. So like every guy I ever dated in high school did, right? Mm-hmm. It was either polo or Drakkar. Those were the scents. Late 80s, early 90s. That's what everybody wore. And seriously, that sweater smells like Drakkar. I'm not even kidding. She like pulled it up and I got a hint of it. I was like, holy crap. That's like every guy I went to school with.
There you go. Yeah. Greg says guilty.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, it looks like it was the Giants versus the Bills.
All right.
So
all right, Cool Water. Cool Water is more like 2000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I still have a few things to show.
Yep.
One of them, or I think a couple of them, are going to be some nuggets.
Some nuggets,
as Greg is saying. So this is another brand that you want to keep an eye out for. I grabbed this just because it actually felt like quality. It's kind of heavy. So it's 12 little. I don't know if you can see that. God, I hate being backwards.
You can see it.
12 little. It's a diaper bag company. So this is like a backpack, but it's a diaper bag and it's really well made. I paid, it was 20% off of $7.99. So I paid around $6 and change. And I think I'm going to sell this for like 75 bucks. It's like
nice.
That Petunia pickle bottom, but actually it's more high end than that. A couple of them sell for quite a bit. But it's a real cute backpack. Like I would actually carry this as a backpack. I had no idea that it was a diaper bag.
Very cool.
Nothing wrong with it. It's a really nice quality. So if Lorna is still in the chat, Lorna will appreciate this. Lorna likes to buy puzzles. I like to buy puzzles if they're like Springbok, if they're vintage, if they're round. Certain ones I don't usually buy. This one I bought because it's such a huge box and the graphic looked good to me. I'm gonna preface this with I paid $12.99 for this. It's a Clementoni. If you bought this brand, if you look up this brand of puzzles, they sell for a buttload of money, right? So they sell for like 60.
How much is a buttload?
I don't know, 60 or 75 bucks. 6,000 pieces.
That's crazy.
I am not counting them.
And let me tell you guys, no.
Not counting them.
Guys, listen, she's saying that jokingly, but the reality is it does not have 6,000 puzzle pieces. It probably has 6,021 or 6,012. They do not actually put the exact count in there. So you could go ahead and count them all, and then you get to 6,000. There'd be a couple extra, and you'd feel like you maybe messed up somewhere along the way.
Right.
So the reality is you either do the puzzle yourself to ensure that all the pieces are there, which I think Lorna usually does, or just chance it.
Just chance it. And I will say, to be fair, I have never once had a puzzle returned to me. If a customer purchased this from me and they said, oh, I made this, and they show me a pin that's missing 3 pieces, I would gladly give them a refund. I am not wasting my time counting 6,000 pieces or taking 5 days to put a puzzle together. So I'm going to list it and assume that it's complete.
Yeah.
It's taped. It may actually be factory sealed under here, under this tape. So I'm going to, heat release the tape to take a quick look at it, not ruin the box, and see what it looks like inside. It could very well be inside plastic. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to, there was a comment earlier. Lori says, thanks to Katy, I recognize from the cobwebs of my mind, Cliff Engel Broncos sweater, 2 of them next to each other.
Nice.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I always love finding those. They're always a good find.
Yeah, Kent says INAD for 6,015 pieces. It could happen. But I will tell you, like I said, if anyone ever were to contact me, and I've sold hundreds and hundreds of puzzles over the years, if it looks complete, if it looks like it's a good box, if it's taped up nicely, if it comes from someone's house, for the most part, you're going to assume that the puzzle pieces are all in there. And if they're not, and if anyone ever says that it's not, I would give them a refund. I'm not going to be a jerk about it.
There you go.
So I, as some of you may know or may have heard me say, I'm not a gamer, right? I don't do video games, never really did. But that being said, I saw these really cool vintage Keds on a shelf for $5.50 and went, oh, those are Super Mario mushrooms. I knew that.
Everybody played Super Mario Brothers.
Listen, I didn't. I don't know.
You never sat around while some boy played them, or your brother played?
My brother played.
Yeah, so you at least witnessed it happening.
So I knew, and these are dirty. But they were only $4.50, right? So even I knew what these were.
Yeah, those will clean up really.
These will clean up pretty easily. These do sell for about $150. They're fairly rare.
That's awesome.
They're vintage Pro Keds, and I paid about $4 for these. So I'm pretty psyched. I knew what they were. I was pretty proud of myself for knowing what they were.
She's psyched, yo.
I never know what that kind of stuff is. Are you kidding me? I was pretty excited. It's like sportsing. Do I know anything sportsing? So this is another pair. I picked these up last night. I did pay up a little bit for these. I paid $10 for these. These are men's. These are vintage. They may or may not be vintage, but these are, if they're vintage, not super old. Men's shoes. These are a brand called O'Sullivan. Let's see if we can get that. Can you see that? It's written on the heel in cursive.
You let go of them. Let go of them.
I am. I'm just trying to see if we can get at the angle right.
There we go.
So O'Sullivan are bench-made, heavy, well-made leather dress shoes. So these are a nice like wingtip or a brogue I would put both words in the listing. These will probably sell for about $75 or so. They're very heavy. If you pick up men's shoes and they're light, they're usually worth crap. If you pick up men's shoes and they're leather and they're heavy, that means they have heavy leather soles. They're hand nailed, or if you see the nails or the stitches in the soles, those are good quality shoes. Usually they're going to be made in Italy, made in Spain, something like that. If you're trying to find a quality shoe, if it's heavy, chances are it's worth money, right?
Carrie Bear's mom wants to know what size the Keds are.
The Keds are,
they're pretty big, I think.
I honestly don't know. They're pretty big. They are. They're like a...
Well, I guess they're not that big.
But they're probably like a 12 or so. So I want to get into, this is my very last piece that I want to talk about, and do not interrupt me. Yeah, that's what you're going to do.
Go ahead.
So these I paid up for. These I paid $28 for. They had the tag on them for $35. What they are is, let's see, can we see the tag? Yep.
You can see it.
So they're Louis Vuitton men's shoes. They're actually in excellent condition. They do not have the laces, but I'm just going to pick up some men's black dress laces. These are authentic. I can tell by, there's a couple of ways that I can tell. I can tell by the stitching. I can tell by the quality. I can tell by the way it feels. But I can also tell because there's a style number, and I was able to look up the style number and find other shoes that look exactly like this. Generally, when you're finding a fake, they're not faking style 100%, right? So what there is on them is, so on the side here, they've got this little, like this little gold cutout that has the LV in the heel. And this one is missing it. So this popped out somewhere along the line. So we have a Louis Vuitton store here in Vegas. I'm going to take these to Louis Vuitton, and they will probably replace that for free. They'll send them out and replace it for free because that's not a normal wear and tear item, and they guarantee their quality products. If they replace that for free, I'll be able to sell these for $300 to $400. If they charge me to replace it, which I can't imagine they will, but if they do, even if they charge me up to $100, it's still worth it for me to flip them for $300 to $400, right? I'm not going to try listing these without that because I just think that'd be silly, especially if I can get it. They may ask for a receipt. They may not. Generally speaking, they don't ask for receipts when it's a quality item. It depends on the store you go to, though. Here in Vegas, chances are people are not going to have receipts.
Yeah. Kara wants to know, Brogue, what's that?
Brogue is a style of shoe. It's a lace-up style of shoe, usually with a rounded toe. It's a men's style of heavy shoe. Sometimes usually it's a wingtip. It resembles a wingtip. Just Google looking for examples. You'll see what I mean by that.
Yeah. These are size 10.
They're size 10 in men's. Aaron, they do not generally authenticate items for you because there's so many fakes out there. But they also will not work on an item that is not authentic. So that's your authentication right there, actually. I'm pretty good at authenticating items depending on what they are. There are some times that I'll be fooled, but it hasn't happened in a long time. Yeah,
Ken says they wouldn't do his without a receipt. But you know what? It just depends because I remember there was somebody who had it was like a pair of shoes, and I can't remember who it was, but it was like or what the brand was. But there was like it was like one of those the shoes had like a little monogram or whatever the letters were for the brand on the front of the shoe, and it had broken. And they replaced that. And I think they had to pay $50 for it or something like that. But they didn't have to show a receipt. So I think it just really depends on the situation.
Ken says, but I'm shady. We'll see. We'll see. It really does depend. It doesn't say anywhere on their website that they require receipts for service of items. And I looked on a few of the websites. So again, even if I have to pay for it, I will. But that's not something that would be expected with normal wear and tear to have that little thing pop out. So that might be something that they will fix for free. It does depend on what it is. So,
All right. So that's everything, right?
That's everything.
Okay. So I'm kind of excited about next week's show because guys, I've done a little sourcing today. You didn't even know this. I've done a little sourcing. There were two different
today.
Yeah. Today there were two different vintage t-shirt lots on eBay that were an auction. and they each only had one bid on them. And so I waited till I had them, and it was the same. This is really weird. It was the same seller, and for some reason they had them ending almost at a simultaneous time, which is kind of weird. They probably didn't sell like the first time around, and they just relisted them both together right away. But I had them both open on separate screens because I wanted to wait till like the last 10 seconds and then put in a bid really quick to hopefully not have to pay too much more than whatever the highest bid was, the one bid. And so I ended up paying with shipping. It was like $125 for 2 lots from this one seller. So a total of 20 t-shirts there. And then there was another lot that was 20 t-shirts in just one lot. And I made an offer for $90 and then it was $10 shipping. So I paid $100 for another 20 t-shirt lot. So basically about $225 for 40 t-shirts. So average about $5.60 some cents. All super cool. So I'm gonna get like 40 vintage t-shirts in the mail. Plus, I see she was in the chat. I saw her name pop up a couple times. Jennifer Goodale, I don't know if she's in the boss group or not, but she watches on YouTube. I think she's in the boss group.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She reached out to me today and dangled some delicious vintage carrots in front of my face and sold me a vintage reseller box, if you will, full of goodies, jackets, and t-shirts.
And you had a reseller box from Allison.
Jackets.
Nobody contacts me to buy their good stuff.
Okay, whatever. You've got plenty. Anyway, a whole box of jackets and sweatshirts that I'm really excited about. So I bought those from her. So this next week, I'm going to have a whole bunch of really good stuff.
I'm excited. Yeah. So Greg asked, bulk garage buy update. No update yet. I've purchased 2 lots of items from those young people, and everything that I've purchased in the last 2 weeks, I purchased everything in the last 2 weeks from them, and I've sold everything. So not sold everything, listed everything. I've sold nothing yet actually from them. I just got them all listed within the last few days. So
Alexis has a case of maxi pads for you.
Yeah, nice. Thanks, Alexis. Appreciate it.
Oh, and Jennifer already has them all boxed up. Very exciting.
Nice.
So anyway, I'm really happy because I do, because of the narrow area that I put myself into as far as what I'll thrift. Sometimes it can be a little harder to get enough stuff. And the last probably month or so when I've gone thrifting, I haven't gotten any huge
good
buys. Some good scores, but not like as big as I would like.
And you kind of got screwed from that guy that was.
No, I didn't. I mean, whatever. I'm not getting stuff from him anymore right now. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for coming and watching the show. I really appreciate it.
Quick question there. Lori asked, will I update about the Louis Vuitton thing? I will. I'll let you know how it goes once I get to the store. Either way, I'm either going to pay to have them fixed or they're going to do it for free. It's one way or the other. I can't imagine that they would charge more than $100 to replace that one little thing. So I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. We got a party to go to, so we're going to skedaddle on down out of here.
We have a wine tasting event at our friend's house. She does this every year. It's her big, huge to-do, and we're already late. Yeah. So it's time to go drink some wine.
Gonna go drink some wine. All right, guys. We will see you later. We will be around for the Wednesday shows. Come and hang out with us at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday for the Boss Up and List show. And we will see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.